So I finally hired a nanny, and she was great with the kids, always on time, felt like part of the family. I paid her fairly and on schedule, and I thought that was it. But then I started hearing about something called nanny taxes, and that's when things got messy. See, if you've got someone helping in your home, nanny, sitter, housekeeper, the IRS doesn't just see it as paying for help, they treat you like an employer. That means payroll rules, tax forms, year-end paperwork you're supposed to handle. No one gives you a guidebook for this, and figuring it out on your own can be a little tough. So in this video, I want to walk you through the whole thing. I'll explain what nanny taxes are, why they matter, and how I ended up handling it all once it all landed on my plate. So here's what I learned the hard way. Once the IRS sees you as a household employer, you're expected to handle payroll taxes the same way any company would. You can't just hand over cash or Venmo the money and think you're all set. There's Social Security, Medicare, unemployment insurance, and at the end of the year, you've got to hand over a W-2. And it's not just bureaucracy. The thing is, it actually helps the person you hire. They build up Social Security and Medicare credits. They've got a real work history, and they can get proper pay stubs that they can use for things like renting an apartment or applying for a loan. And if you skip it, well, that's where the problems start to show up. Missed filings or paying under the table can lead to penalties and, in the worst case, an audit. Even if this feels like overkill for just one person, it's part of the deal once you're paying someone regularly in your home. Now, at a regular job, HR or an accountant will take care of all of this, but in your own home, it's completely on you. So I grabbed a spreadsheet online, tracked some hours, taxes for a few weeks, felt fine, until a form popped up asking for a state unemployment ID that I didn't even have. That one missing piece turned into hours of calls with dozens of different agencies, each one sending me somewhere else. It was miserable. Pretty quickly, it was obvious this is not just a quick side task. Every time I thought I had it figured out, another rule or deadline popped up. The irony is, I hired a nanny to get more time back, but I was burning that time on hold music and paperwork, and even then, I was not sure I was getting it right. So once I realized this DIY was just not working, I started looking around. I asked some friends, called a bookkeeper. Everyone had a different idea. One accountant quoted me nearly $2,000 a year just to run payroll for one employee. I mean, that's insane, right? On the other end, people suggested QuickBooks or business payroll software, but all of that was built for real businesses, not a family with one nanny. The setup alone was more complicated than the taxes I was trying to avoid. So I started looking for something made just for household employers, and that's when Poppins Payroll kept showing up. Now, I didn't know much about it at first, but it looked exactly like the middle ground that I needed. See, it's a payroll service built specifically for families. If you've got a nanny, sitter, caregiver, it works like your back office. You just plug in the hours and the pay rate, and they take care of the rest. Taxes, filings, W-2s, all handled. And because this is the only thing they focus on, it feels simple and straightforward instead of bloated with stuff you'll never use. Now, getting set up was easy. I just signed up, answered a few quick questions like what state I'm in, how much I pay, how often, and they took care of the rest. They registered me as an employer, pulled the tax IDs, all the stuff I didn't want to deal with. And after that, it's pretty hands-off. Each payday, I just log in, put the hours, and everything else runs automatically. Taxes get calculated, pay stubs are ready, and if you want, they'll direct deposit the paycheck. They also handle quarterly filings and send that W-2 at the end of the year, which means I don't have to touch a single form. And one small thing I liked were the reminder emails. Payroll days tend to sneak up on me, I'm not always on point, and those quick notes help me keep on track. And I didn't feel like I had to babysit the system. It's not full of buttons and dashboards. You just check in, do your part, and it's done. And the price is flat. It's $49 a month. Compare that to the accountant who wanted $2,000 a year, it's really a no-brainer. So here's the bottom line. Nanny taxes aren't simple, and they're not something you can brush off. Trying to run it all myself turned into hours of wasted time and second guessing, and I didn't want to live like that. Once I moved everything over to Poppins, the stress just went away. I knew the filings were handled, my nanny was getting paid immediately, I wasn't wasting hours on paperwork and hold music. That peace of mind is really what I was paying for. Now, it's not perfect for everyone. If you live in a state they don't cover, you'll have to look elsewhere, but if they're active where you are, it makes the whole thing so much easier. It turned a constant headache into a quick 5-minute task, and let me get back to what I actually hired a nanny for in the first place, spending more time with my family. And if Poppins Payroll sounds like it might be good for your family, I'll leave a link in the description and down in the comments. And we usually actually have some special offers through our affiliate links that you won't see if you go straight to the website, so feel free to take a look. Also, if you're interested in working with us or sponsoring a future video, you can reach out using the email in the description. As always, I enjoy hearing your thoughts, so feel free to leave any comments or questions down below, and I'll do my best to get back to you. And if this video helped you out, please go ahead, leave it a like, and subscribe for more breakdowns like this. Otherwise, thanks so much for watching, and I will see you in the next one.